The night slowly descended upon the ancient hills of Palestine. By the campfire sat a young man with a thoughtful gaze, peering into the distant stars. He often contemplated far-off lands, the peoples who were yet to learn of the one God, and the land that seemed shrouded in mystery. This land, as the ancient prophet said, lay beyond seas and mountains, in the direction of the west wind. It was mentioned only vaguely, as the lands of the islands, or the country of Kittim, which appeared only fleetingly in prophetic texts. The Old Testament describes the peoples living beyond Israel as the sons of Javan, descendants of Noah, and the Mediterranean lands where the truth was also to spread. The prophets Isaiah and Ezekiel occasionally hinted at mysterious nations living across the sea. They mentioned the islands where the descendants of Japheth dwell. Although these nations were not named directly, many interpreters believe that they referred to the inhabitants of the Western world, including the lands of future Italy. The Israelites were aware of the sea peoples, and their trade connections extended to the Phoenician and Greek colonies that stood at the foot of the Italian peninsula. This peninsula, which would become Italy in the future, was already a symbol of strength and power. For the Jewish people, it seemed a distant and enigmatic land, but the prophecies hinted at a time when even there the light of truth would shine. This land, it was foretold, would become the arena for great events closely linked to the future of all humanity. The pages of the Old Testament also contain hints of the influence of Western nations on Israel, which further strengthened the secret feeling that their fates were intertwined. The ship slowly approached the coast of Italy. The sea, calm and majestic, seemed to breathe in unison with the very waves of history that washed over this ancient land. On the deck stood an elderly man with deep wrinkles and a piercing gaze. This was the Apostle Peter, heading to Rome, the heart of the great Roman Empire, to fulfill his destiny. As Peter stepped onto Italian soil, his heart was filled with a unique feeling. These lands were nothing like his native Galilee or Judea, where he had spent much of his life. Here, among marble statues, majestic temples, and cobbled streets, resided the cultural power of an empire seemingly reaching into the future. Yet at the same time, Peter knew that beneath this power lay a spiritual emptiness. He felt a mission to bring the truth of Christ to this place. Peter arrived in Rome already aware of some Romans who had converted to Christianity. Reports of the faith's journey were spreading among slaves, soldiers, and even noble people. In Rome, he found many who longed for hope and a new truth. He understood that Rome, despite its grandeur, also needed salvation, and that in the future this place would become one of the centers of Christianity. In Rome, the apostle began to preach, his words filled with inspiration captivating those who were ready to listen. Among the converts were Romans from all walks of life, ranging from simple slaves and the poor to educated and noble citizens. However, Rome was also a place of danger. Each day, the number of his followers grew, and this could not escape the notice of the authorities. Thus, Peter found companions and established the first communities. But his mission soon led him to martyrdom, and Rome became his final resting place. With his life, one chapter closed, but another began, a chapter wherein his disciples and followers would spread the light of Christ's faith throughout Italy and beyond. At the same time, the Apostle Paul, having overcome many trials and dangers, also found himself in Rome. Although born in the East, Paul knew that it was here, in the center of the empire, that his mission would take on new meaning. As a prisoner, he wrote letters to those who had already believed, inspiring new communities toward resilience and faith. The essence of Italy, its grandeur and might, seemed timeless, but for the apostles, this place became the beginning of a new era. Here, they laid the foundations of a church that would endure for centuries. The history of Italy, interwoven with mysticism and ancient prophecies, creates a sense of a unique destiny for this land. For centuries, legends and signs have emerged here that seem inexplicably linked to biblical truths. In this chapter, we will turn to ancient traditions and mysterious events that heralded its spiritual purpose. One such legend speaks of a mysterious elder who wandered among the Romans, predicting the destruction of the great empire and the arrival of a new faith that would change the face of this people. His words were shrouded in a haze of metaphor, but he proclaimed that one day a teaching would come from the eastern lands that would melt the hearts of even the hardest. Scholars and ordinary people discussed this prophecy for many years, believing it would be fulfilled in centuries to come when Rome itself would turn its gaze towards the truth. Another prophecy linked to Italy is found in the book of Daniel, which describes the image of a beast with iron teeth that crushes and devours all before it. Many interpreters see in this beast a symbol of the Roman Empire. Ancient prophecies seem to point to Rome as a powerful force that would ultimately be defeated and replaced by something entirely new and sacred. In these lines, a hint was seen regarding the arrival of Christianity, which would become stronger than empires and live in the hearts of nations. Among the legends of the Italian land are stories of saints and signs that strengthened faith in this country as a chosen place for the evangelical mission. One such sign appeared to Saint Francis of Assisi, the founder of the monastic order. It is said that one day, while Francis was praying on the summit of a hill, he had a vision. A great light illuminated the Italian lands, spreading to all the countries of the world. Francis understood this vision as a prophecy of a future in which Italy would become a source of spiritual light that would transform not only Europe but the entire world. Many missionaries who sought to bring the truth to the farthest corners of the earth emerged from Italy. The history of signs continues in the tales of many other saints who saw in their visions Italy as a promised land for the Christian Church. It was believed that Saint Catherine of Siena had a vision in which Italy played a key role in the future of faith. She spoke of Italy becoming a place of salvation where the truths about the end of time would be revealed. Her words, captured in letters and sermons, later became the foundation for spiritual movements that inspired countless believers. These signs affirmed the strength of the Italian land and its destiny as a spiritual stronghold of Christianity. People saw signs in the light that illuminated the domes of Rome at Easter, in unexpected natural phenomena that served as symbols confirming Italy's unique mission. Even in modern predictions and reflections on the future, Italy is often depicted as a center of spiritual power, from where light may once again emerge, especially if this people seeks spiritual renewal and the restoration of traditional Christian values. This chapter reveals Italy as a place where legends, prophecies, and history intersect, forming a unique picture of its spiritual purpose. Prophecies, mystical signs, and phenomena further underscore the uniqueness of this region and its place in God's plan, which many believe is yet to be fully unveiled. Italy today is not only a country with a rich cultural and historical heritage but also a spiritual center, the role of which has been discussed multiple times in light of biblical prophecies and ancient predictions. Located in the very heart of Europe, it holds the legacy of the Roman Empire and the Christian Church, closely intertwined with modern challenges. The Vatican, a symbol of Italy and at the same time of the Christian faith, is a state that, despite its small size, has a tremendous influence on the spiritual development of the entire world. Modern Italy, like its predecessor, the Roman Empire, remains a place where people from all corners of the earth gather, seeking to touch sacred sites, feel the spirit of antiquity, and contemplate the future. For many pilgrims, a visit to Italy is not merely tourism but a spiritual journey in which they search for answers to questions of life and death, faith, and the meaning of existence. At the same time, Italy, being at the center of secular world events, faces challenges that seem to distance it from its spiritual roots. Political, economic, and cultural currents that permeate modern Italian society often appear alien to the traditional values of Christianity. However, this confrontation only emphasizes the importance of preserving the spiritual heritage that lies at the foundation of this land. Contemporary Christian thinkers studying prophetic texts assert that Italy, despite its secularization, will play a crucial role in the last times. Some perceive a special mission in the Italian people, to uphold and spread spiritual values even when the world turns away from them. The prophetic admonitions of John the Apostle and the imagery described in the book of Revelation prompt reflection on the significance of Rome and the Vatican in the last days. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues." Revelation 18 verse 4. These lines are linked by interpreters to the symbolism of Babylon, which many interpret as an image of Rome. According to some interpretations, this city at the end of times will be a place of serious spiritual trials. Nevertheless, the future of Italy is not solely tied to prophecies of downfall but also to hope for the revival of faith. There are visions predicting that Italy will once again turn to its roots and become the place from which the light of evangelical truth will emerge. Many believe that new generations of Italians will re-evaluate the rich spiritual tradition of their ancestors and bring this light back into the world. Thus, Italy, like all of Europe, stands at a crossroads, to preserve its Christian roots or to follow only modern ideas. Pastors, priests, and theologians in Italy are actively discussing its future, creating movements aimed at the revival and strengthening of faith. Some initiatives, such as the Movement for a New Evangelization, gather young Christians who wish to serve God on Italian soil. They see themselves as successors to the apostles and early martyrs, striving to spread Christian ideals and inspire others to follow them. The future of Italy is also linked to its unique geographical position. As part of the Mediterranean, Italy connects Europe, Africa, and Asia, allowing it to become a center for spiritual communication and interfaith dialogue. This geographical position is seen as prophetic. Italy is capable of carrying light not only within its borders but also beyond them. As a center where believers of various peoples can meet and find common spiritual values, in conclusion, it can be said that Italy, despite its challenges, remains a special place in biblical history and modern Christianity. Perhaps in the coming times, Italy will once again become a land of prophetic significance, ready to unveil a new path to spiritual renewal, merging traditions with new hopes, the light of antiquity with the flames of the future.